I welcome you to the news on ASO Television. I am Rosemary Ukokotega. The headlines. President Tinubu urges civil society organizations to put national interests first. Senate to investigate presidential foreign intervention promotion cancel scandal. Cholera outbreak kills 9 ISWAP fighters in Borno. National Population Commission says President to decide census date. President Bola decide census date. President Bola Tinubu has called on civil society organizations, CSOs, across the country to put national interests first and reject foreign funding capable of undermining Nigeria's sovereignty and development priorities. According to a statement issued by the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, OSGF, the President, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, made a call on Wednesday at the Southern Civil Society Organizations Summit in Lagos. President Tinubu said CSOs must move beyond being viewed solely as critics of government and become active partners in promoting sustainable development, good governance, poverty reduction, and human capital development. Speaking on the theme, Nigeria First and Sustainable Development, the President commended civil society groups for their interventions during the COVID-19 pandemic, flood disasters, and other national emergencies, describing their contributions as patriotism in action. He said the theme of the summit aligns with the objectives of his renewed hope agenda and the administration's 8 priority areas, including economic reforms, national security, food security, infrastructure development, education, healthcare, industrialization, and improved governance. President Tinubu, however, cautioned civil society organizations against accepting foreign funding that could compromise Nigeria's interests, stressing that national priorities and ethical considerations must guide their operations. The Senate has moved to investigate the inclusion of the purported Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council in the 2026 Appropriation Act, following allegations that the agency is not recognized by the federal government despite receiving a budgetary allocation of over 1.3 billion naira. The motion, sponsored by Senator Suleiman Abdulrahman Kawu, was presented under Order 9 on the infringement of personal privilege. Leading the debate, Senator Kawu said the controversy surrounding the council already raised serious concerns about the integrity of the National Assembly's appropriation process and the credibility of the federal government. He noted that although senior officials from the presidency publicly described the agency as fake, fictitious, and unauthorized, and reportedly directed security agencies to arrest its self-acclaimed officials for alleged forgery and impersonation, the said fake agency was still captured in the 2026 Appropriation Act with an allocation of 1.3 billion naira. Senator Kawu expressed concern that the inclusion of an allegedly non-existent agency in the national budget had exposed weakness in the budget preparation and appropriation process, undermined public confidence in the National Assembly, and subjected the federal government to criticism over transparency, accountability, and fiscal governance. The Senate has passed for second reading a bill seeking stiffer penalties for offenders involved in counterfeit medicines and unsafe food products, including a proposed 15-year jail term for medicine hawkers. The proposed Counterfeit Medical Products, Fake Drugs, and Unwholesome Processed Foods Prohibition and Control Bill 2026, being sponsored by the Senator representing Kwara North, Umar Suleiman, also provides for asset forfeiture, compensation for victims, and stronger enforcement powers for the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. According to Senator Suleiman, the proposed legislation is aimed at protecting Nigerians from preventable deaths and disabilities caused by fake medicines, while restoring confidence in the country's healthcare system and the legitimate pharmaceutical industry. Although some lawmakers called for clarity on the proposed NAFDAC Act, Senate President Godswill Akpabio in his remarks thanked senators for their contributions, saying concerns over the relationship between the proposed legislation and the NAFDAC Act would be addressed during the committee stage. To strengthen enforcement, the bill empowers NAFDAC to deploy modern product tracking technologies, establish national and state enforcement task forces, inspect facilities, seize counterfeit products, arrest suspects, seal premises, and intensify surveillance at the nation's ports entry. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Abbas Tajuddin, on Wednesday overruled antics by some lawmakers to insert a prayer summoning President Bola Tinubu to appear before the House into an already moved motion. A lawmaker in the opposition, Mr. Alex Mascot, had during the plenary moved a motion of urgent national importance on the urgent need to address the poor funding of appropriated budgets and delayed releases to ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, for budget implementation as revealed during the 2026 budget defense sessions. Mr. Mascot, prior to the presentation, submitted a copy of the motion containing 5 prayers to Speaker Abbas in compliance with House standing rules. However, while presenting the motion, he inserted an additional prayer calling for the invitation of the President to explain to Nigerians why releases were not being made to fund the budget. Consequently, Honorable Yusuf Gagdi moved to amend the prayer, explaining that instead of summoning the President, government officials saddled with the responsibility of managing the nation's financial institutions should be invited. Amid attempt by some of the opposition lawmakers to shut him down, Speaker Abbas weighed in, insisting that the original motion had no prayer seeking for the invitation of the President. Hence, the prayer could not be put to vote. Consequently, the Speaker put the motion to a voice vote and it was adopted without the prayer to invite the President. The House of Representatives has launched an investigation into allegations surrounding the repatriation of trafficked Nigerian girls from the Republic of Mali. Lawmakers and stakeholders at a meeting convened by House Committee on Humanitarian Services on Wednesday at the National Assembly centered deliberation on a presentation by the National Council of Child Rights Advocates Nigeria, NACRAN. NACRAN Operations Consultant on Diaspora Issues, Prince Adefoye Simeon, revealed in his report that he spent 11 months in Mali investigating reports of Nigerian girls trafficked into prostitution in Mali, the Republic of Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso and Senegal. He alleged that the repatriation process lacked transparency and that rescued victims were often taken to the Nigerian embassy in Mali and kept there for extended periods while awaiting repatriation through the International Organization for Migration, despite funds allegedly being collected to facilitate their transportation back to Nigeria. In her remark, Chairperson of the House Committee, Ms. Tolulokpe Akonde Sadiq, described human trafficking as one of the gravest humanitarian and human rights challenges confronting Nigeria and stressed that bringing victims home should not be viewed as the end of government's responsibility. She reaffirmed the commitment of the House of Representatives to strengthening the legislative policy and oversight framework needed to improve institutional coordination, accountability and support for agencies responsible for protecting vulnerable Nigerians. Still from the Green Chamber, the House on Wednesday held a public hearing on a bill to amend the South-South Development Commission Establishment Act 2025 to provide additional sources of funding for the Commission and strengthen its capacity to address development challenges in the region. Speaker of the House, Dr. Abbas Tajuddin, while declaring the public hearing open, said the proposed amendment aims to place the Commission on a funding structure comparable to other regional development commissions in the country. He noted that the South-South region remains critical to Nigeria's economic prosperity due to its contributions to the oil and gas sector, but continues to face environmental degradation, infrastructure deficits, ecological challenges, youth unemployment, and other socio-economic concerns. In his welcome address, Chairman of the House Committee on South-South Development Commission, Mr. Julius Pondis, said the bill seeks to strengthen the Commission's financial base by introducing additional sources of funding. He said the proposed amendment includes contributions from extractive industries, agricultural processing companies, allocations from the Ecological Fund, and a share of value-added tax revenues, among other measures. Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Dr. Maria Mahmood, has described dietetics and proper nutrition as critical to strengthening Nigeria's health security and improving human capital development. She spoke at the 17th Scientific Conference and National Workshop of the Dietitians Association of Nigeria in Abuja. Represented by her Special Assistant on Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Junaidu Yakubu Muhammad, the minister said the conference theme highlights the need to prioritize nutrition and preventive health care. She noted that dietitians play a vital role in promoting healthier communities. Dr. Mahmood said Nigeria is facing a double burden of undernutrition, food insecurity, and rising cases of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and other diet-related diseases, and called for greater investment in nutrition and personal and professional dietetic services to improve public health. The minister reaffirmed the commitment of the FCT administration under the leadership of the FCT Minister, Barrister Ezenwonyi Wike, to improving access to quality health care. She also commended the Dietitians Association of Nigeria for promoting professional development and scientific research. In her remarks, the association's president, Professor Olivia Afam Anene, represented by Professor Ogechi Eziagu, called for stronger collaboration, innovation, and evidence-based practice to tackle Nigeria's nutrition challenges. This is, as she said, poor nutrition continues to affect productivity and national development, reaffirming the association's commitment to global best practices. Chairman of Kwali Area Council, Mr. Nuhu Daniel Kwali, has announced plans by his administration to train young people in irrigation farming as part of efforts to boost agricultural productivity and enhance food security in the council. Mr. Kwali made the announcement while speaking with journalists shortly after receiving members of various farmers' associations in his office. He said the initiative is aimed at empowering youths with modern farming techniques, creating employment opportunities, and ensuring year-round food production. According to the chairman, the council is exploring ways to revive an abandoned dam constructed several years ago by a former member representing Abuja South Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. He explained that the dam would be rehabilitated and utilized to support irrigation farming for interested youths across the area council. Mr. Daniel Kwali disclosed that the council is also making arrangements to procure irrigation equipment and other farming machines, which will be distributed to youth groups participating in the program to enable them commence dry season farming. He further revealed that the council plans to provide the agricultural input participating in the program to enable them commence dry season farming. He further revealed that the council plans to provide the agricultural inputs, including herbicides, agrochemicals, knapsack sprayers, assorted seedlings, and fertilizers to rural farmers to improve crop yields and increase food production. The chairman added that the council is collaborating with the Federal Capital Territory Administration's Agricultural and Rural Development Secretariat to engage agricultural consultants who will provide technical training and capacity building for the youth selected for the irrigation farming program. Mr. Kwali noted that with about 85% of the council's population engaged in farming, particularly in rural communities, investing in agriculture remains a key priority of his administration, expressing confidence that the initiative would improve livelihoods, reduce youth unemployment, and contribute significantly to food sustainability in Kwali Area Council. The chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council, Comrade Kasimu Mohammed Ikwa, has fulfilled his pledge to donate essential equipment to the School of Nursing Sciences, Gwagwalada, reaffirming his commitment to promoting quality education and improving learning facilities within the council. The chairman had, while attending an event held at the institution last Friday, announced his intention to donate 2 air conditioners and 1 deep freezer to support the school's academic and welfare needs. In fulfillment of that commitment, the items were officially presented to the provost of the institution on behalf of the chairman by the Chief of Staff, Honorable Yunus Abdullahi, accompanied by the Chief Technical Assistant to the Chairman, Suleiman Ismail. Receiving the items, the management of the School Nursing Sciences expressed profound appreciation to Comrade Ikwa for honoring his promise within a short period. The management described the donation as a timely intervention that will enhance the learning environment, improve staff and students' comfort, and support the institution's day-to-day operations. The fulfillment of the pledge is another indication of Comrade Ikwa's leadership style, which places emphasis on accountability, prompt delivery of promises, and sustained investment in education as a catalyst for community development. You're watching the news on ASO Television. Watch us live on DSTV 392, StarTimes TV 127, Free TV 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. Coming up after the break, cholera outbreak kills 9 ISWAP fighters in Borno. Along other
From June 11th till July 19th, everything fit way. The FIFA World Cup 2026 go happen. Touchlight all 104 matches on top 4 correct channels. Sharply grab your GoTV decoder, GoTenna plus 1 month jolly for only 15,000 naira. Live on Super Sport, only on GoTV.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has announced the immediate disengagement of online integrated solution services are the operator of Nigeria's visa application and submission centers in the United States of America. A statement issued by the Service Public Relations Officer, Deputy Controller of Immigration Akinlabi Akinshola, said the decision takes immediate effect and affects all prospective travelers and Nigerians residing in the United States who require visas to enter Nigeria. The statement explained that following the development, all applicants seeking Nigerian visas are now required to submit their applications directly at the Embassy of Nigeria in Washington, D.C. or at the Nigerian consulates in New York and Atlanta until further notice. The Nigeria Immigration Service assured members of the public that the Nigerian Embassy and consulates have put adequate measures in place to ensure the seamless submission, processing, and issuance of visas without disruption. The service also advised applicants to monitor the official communication channels of the Nigeria Immigration Service and the Nigerian Mission in the United States for updates on visas application, procedures, and other relevant information. The Nigeria Immigration Service appreciated understanding and cooperation of applicants, reaffirming its commitment to efficient and effective service delivery. Chairman of the National Population Commission, Dr. Aminu Yusuf, has reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to conducting a credible, technology-driven population and housing census, describing it as an essential for effective national planning, equitable resource allocation, and sustainable development. The NPC chairman spoke at a media briefing in Abuja ahead of the 2026 World Population Day. Oluchi's Jacinta Okori has the report. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC has commended the 2025 Batch B Stream 1 Corps members for their dedication and patriotism as they conclude their one-year national service, urging them to remain committed to national unity and development. In a farewell message issued on behalf of the Director General and signed by Director Information and Public Relations Ms. Caroline Embo, the Corps scheme praised the Corps members for their valuable contributions to their host communities through their places of primary assignment, describing their service as a reflection of the ideas of nation building and selfless commitment. The NYSC encouraged the outgoing Corps members to uphold the values of discipline, integrity, unity, and patriotism cultivated during the service year and remain worthy ambassadors of the scheme, and to continue reflecting its ideas wherever they find themselves. The Director General also advised the graduates to make effective use of the knowledge and practical experience acquired through the Skills Acquisition and Entrepreneurship Development Program. 9 suspected fighters of the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP has reportedly died following a cholera outbreak in the Timbuktu Triangle, a known terrorist enclave in Borno State. According to intelligence sources, the disease spread across the group's camps, exposing poor sanitary conditions and limited access to medical care within the insurgents' hideouts. The sources also allege that 2 infected ISWAP members were executed by fellow fighters after efforts to treat them at Kimba village failed, reflecting the worsening humanitarian conditions in the camps. The reported outbreak is said to be linked to sustained military operations by the troops of Operation Hardin Kai, which have disrupted the terrorist supply routes and limited access to medicines and treatment facilities. Meanwhile, security sources say commanders have been urged to intensify efforts to intercept medical supplies destined for terrorist camps as part of ongoing operations to further weaken ISWAP's operational capability across the Lake Chad region. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, in partnership with the International Livestock Research Institute, has commenced a 10-day training program on climate risk management in agricultural extension to strengthen farmers' resilience to climate change. The program is designed to equip agricultural extension workers with the skills to deliver reliable climate information that supports sustainable farming and improve agricultural productivity across Nigeria. Lead facilitator from the Stockholm Environment Institute, Dr. Tofa Dinko, said the initiative will strengthen digital climate advisory services and build more resilient agricultural systems across Africa, adding that NIMET will lead the program's nationwide implementation. Speaking at the opening ceremony, NIMET's Director General, Professor Charles Anosike, said the climate change and extreme weather continue to threaten food security and rural livelihoods, reaffirming the agency's commitment to providing timely weather and climate services to support planning, early warning, and informed decision-making in agriculture. He described extension workers as the critical link between climate science and farm-level decisions and urged participants to share the knowledge gained with farmers, cooperatives, and rural communities to enhance climate resilience nationwide. The Commission for Insurance National Insurance Commission, NICOM, Mr. Olusegun Ayo Omoshein, has reaffirmed commitment of the Chartered Institute The Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, while commending the president of the institute, Mrs. Yetunde Olumbumi Ilori, for her exemplary leadership and outstanding contributions to the development of insurance profession. NICOM's commissioner, according to a statement made, the commitment during a courtesy visit to the commission in Abuja, led by the institute's president, as part of activities marking the conclusion of their tenure, and pledged more support of the commission to sustaining its strong relationship with the institute. Mr. Omosheyin emphasized the critical role the institute continues to play in driving professionalism, innovation and industry development. He further acknowledged the institute's contributions to advancing insurtech innovation, human capital development and overall industry growth during her tenure. Speaking during the visit, Mrs. Ilori expressed profound appreciation to the Commission for its unwavering support and collaboration throughout her administration. She noted the successes and milestones achieved by the Institute during her tenure would not have been possible without the steadfast support of the Commissioner for Insurance, Mr. Olusegun Ayo Mosheyin, and the entire NICOM management team. Well, that's the news this hour. Many thanks for watching. I am Rosemary Ukokotega.